So first question, how did your relationship with your father affect your life in a positive way?
Oh my gosh. My dad was hugely present in my life from day one. My dad was my soccer coach growing up, right? So not only was he a dad in my life, but he was a coach outside of the house.
Hmm.
And in that respect, he was a father figure to many people. So I shared my father with folks. And, I also realized back then that I was privileged and blessed to have a father that was present.
Hmm.
Um, so to that point, and I may be answering some questions getting ahead, but the reality is, Mr. Smith, I've done everything my father did. My father did a union job.
Hmm.
He went to college. My father used to go to UCLA. I'm going to UCLA. I didn't go to UCLA, but he did a union job. I did the union job. My father became a teacher when I was in middle school, ended up being a teacher at my middle school, which caused hella angst in me, right? But the everlasting picture I have of my dad at that school is him standing there with his arms raised up and kids surrounding him, loving him. And I think that had an impact on me as I grew up saying, hey, how can I have an impact on kids in my community? Right.
Yeah,
And why I became a teacher.
got you.
And then he was also a principal. So yeah, it's good.
So he set the foundation for you. Cool, cool.
Yeah. And the
So,
reality is, and I talk a lot, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, but all my brothers, we all picked up on things that he showed us.
mhm.
Like all my other brothers are in unions, and my twin brother is in education like me.
Mm.
So fortunate to have a present father.
Yeah, yeah, powerful example. So the B parts of that, this is based on the fact, no parent is perfect. So what negative effects did you take from your father?
Right on. Well, I mean, my dad, I like to give grace to my parents and anybody's parents. I like to tell all these kids, nobody took a parenting class in high school or college. I mean, it's kind of a learning on the job thing, and we're learning and taking things from what we learned when we were kids.
Hmm.
My dad used to spank the dog doodle out of me for no reasons. I got a twin brother, and my twin used to pick on me, and then my dad wouldn't even ask any questions. He would just come in, bah! Right? So I made it a point. I don't hit my kids or use violence. My mom was anti-violent anyway, and they used to have fights about how he dealt with us. Um, my dad, he ain't perfect. I try to tell him like, and my mom, I was happy when they got divorced. Like my lasting memory of one of their lasting memories is my mom throwing a plate of enchiladas in him and my dad going in on my mom. And it was not a pretty sight, to the point where, I mean, yeah, people probably would have called the police nowadays, but I come from no, we don't call the police. No,
Yeah.
we handle this, right? So at any rate, no, my dad, he wasn't perfect, but you try to take the good, you take the bad, and you come with some understanding and apply those things to your own life.
Exactly.
I'm not like my dad used to rage at us when he come home from his job. Run, clean up the middle. I don't do all that. I try to, hey guys, kids, can y'all clean up? And
Yeah.
when it doesn't work, I'll use the methods that he used with me because they work for me. Yeah. But yeah.
Got you. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate it. Next question is explain that transition from pre-fatherhood, like before you had kids, you were young, free man, pre-fatherhood to fatherhood.
Oh man, that transition for me started when I went through I divorced my college love and who I married. But going through it, I was like, I'm gonna get through it on my own, right? So that was the first time I felt like as a man, I'm getting through stuff.
Hmm.
As far as fatherhood, when I had my first child and I held my son for the first time, I think I sent a message or I called my dad and I was like, now I know how much you love me, right? Now that may have changed over 20, 30 years, but I saw the root of it
Hmm.
as a baby that's defenseless, can't do anything, right? That man, I have to shepherd and guide this kid through. Um, for me, I always knew I had to be a father,
Mm,
right? Having a father. Um, and also seeing my friends without fathers who gravitated towards my father. So for me, the transition as soon as I knew I was having kids, I was like, okay, I wasn't with my lady, but all of a sudden I was with my lady because
mhm.
I knew I had to be a father, right? Regardless of what issues I had as a single man, I had to, I guess one of the things that I said when I met this woman was I'm responsible for every choice that I make,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I came out of my divorce with. I'm responsible for the choices I make and every action that I take. And when I impregnated this woman that who I love, I've been with her 20 something years now. But after a year, I was like, I got work to do. I'm a
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you. Thank you. So, as a young father, what was your biggest fear?
Um, I guess, not just being a positive example. Being again, and I know that my kids are watching, right? Just because I watch my dad, and being a positive example and making sure that um, I was a good father to my children and I was present.
Mm,
That it takes humble being a father in a relationship,
yeah.
right? And to that point, like. Um, all my brothers, or two of my brothers, they're good fathers. They're good fathers, but they're not with their respective partners anymore, right? Because that takes compromise. So I guess the fear dealt with being a good example and being able to maintain positive relationship with my partner while being a positive example and to my children and everybody.
Yeah. Got you. B parts of that. What was your biggest challenge as a young father?
I again, as a young man, I mean, I struggled with my partner. It was the part of you wants to do the same thing that you do as a boy when you have kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm playing my video game. What you mean I can't play my game? Hell no, and just sharing the load, and recognizing that again, I made choices, and those choices, I had to live with those choices, and they would impact the way that I moved on a daily basis. Um, so just maintaining the relationship with anytime you're raising somebody, it's as a partnership, it takes compromise and learning and yeah.
Yeah. Very true. Part C to that. What's your biggest regret as a young father?
I don't really have. One thing I learned to live with is I don't live with regret, good brother. So that's going to be a hard one for me. Um, everything happens for a reason.
Well, let me
We
say,
make our choices, and
what would you have done differently?
what would I have done differently?
Yeah. If you could go back in time, you'd be like, you know what? If I can change that, I would have did that differently as a father.
But it would be with some of the choices that I made in
Hmm.
trying to be a father around in terms of buying a house or something like that. But it isn't I don't have any regrets around like the way that I've moved with my son or my partner.
Hmm.
I could just say like I knew this was coming, and I was in a situation and I was like, I gotta buy a house, I gotta buy a house. And I ended up buying a house in Vallejo, even though I'm from Oakland. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, 2 years later that house was gone. But
Hmm.
other than that, as a father, if I had a chance to do it all over again, maybe I mean I would I don't know. I guess my only regret would be not having more because I always envisioned myself having three or four,
Hmm.
but two is plenty.
It is.
Yeah.
So all of those things, those three things, what have you learned? What have you learned from that? From your fears, from the challenges, from the from the things that you wish you could have changed? What have you learned?
Um, that having a spiritual foundation is critical to being able to make it through the trip, the journey.
Hmm.
Um, that I still have a lot to learn,
Hmm.
whether that be as a father or something to learn from my children or my partner. Um, yeah, that forgiveness, grace, patience, understanding. Yeah,
Powerful. Thank you. So, over the years, how have you changed as a father over the years?
I think I've always been reflective, but I'm a little more reflective. Um, I don't know. It vacillates, right? Because here we are. Yes, I like to think I'm calmer, right? But at the same time, if I have to repeat myself, I still got left to learn, man. I'm
Hmm.
not done learning. I'm still living.
Yeah.
So in that respect, I, I what was the question again?
What over the years, how have you
How do you
changed
think?
as a father?
I mean, I'm still living and learning. It's a constant process. The reality is my relationship with my children is going to change, right?
Yep.
They're not young kids anymore. My son is 21. He thinks he's a man now,
Hmm.
right? And there's a conversation I got to have with him about that. Like, hey, yeah, legally you are, but there are other things you need to do that are going to make you feel like a man.
Hmm.
Um, Same thing with my daughter, just recognizing that the relationship changes over time,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and tending to it. I got to do a better job of tending to it. The reality is, brother, is sometimes it's unfortunate. It's easier for me to have conversations with other people's kids than my own kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah.
When was a pivotal moment for you as a father?
There's plenty of pivotal moments, but the one I can go back to is my son went to high school here.
Hmm.
And what folks don't realize is like my son went here because I was worried about his experience as in high school. I was a smart dude in high school, but I barely graduated because
Hmm.
people weren't looking out for me, or the system wasn't looking out for me. So, for me, the pivotal moment is me bringing my kids here with me to ensure that while I'm looking out for other people's kids, I'm also thinking about my own kids. But to that point, when they have problems, I let their mama handle it because it's not good if I use my position as principal
Yeah.
to address my students' concerns or my child's concern.
Got you. So, based on that, your career, how does being a father, affect your career? Like, what do you take from fatherhood
Oh,
into?
bro, there's a reason why I do this work, man. I mean, the reality is, man, being a father or becoming a father changed me. I was doing different things.
Hmm.
Um, Before then, I was just dabbling in a little stuff, different stuff. And I was just like, once I became a father, I was like, no, I need a consistent check. I need to be a role model for my child, right? Um, I need a consistent check. I need something that's going to put bread on the table and that's going to take care of my needs and their needs. And so, um, yeah. So my career as a teacher. Actually, I was a teacher and then I got divorced and I left teaching. But once I became a father, I became an educator again.
Hmm.
So it's been a critical part of me becoming an educator again, right? So yeah,
Now,
I
can
don't do this if I'm not a father. I'm doing something
we
different.
Gotcha. So we go flip that now. So how does your career affect you being a father? What have you taken from being a principal into parenthood or a teacher into parenthood?
Man, it's crazy, man. I mean, just kind of spoke to this. I'm pretty good at doing this job here,
Mm.
right? In terms of relating to other people's kids. I have my struggles relating to my own kids. And, you know, it's because I guess in my job, I'm expected to do these things. And then when I go home as a father, you expect to be understood.
Mm,
And I don't want to have to be professional. Again, and I say this, good brother, I should be able to, I should be able to have a moment in my own house and my family should understand that,
hmm.
right? To
Yeah.
that point, I should be able to be a king in my house and my family say, you know what? King is just having a moment. That's all.
Hmm.
But to that point, I can't have those moments in a career, in my career job, because if I have those moments in my career, I can lose my job.
Yeah.
Um, well, so I don't know. That's a challenge.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want to be remembered by your children?
Loving, understanding, patient, gracious, giving, but at the same time, like I got to have this conversation with my son. Uh, Hey, I told my son he using my car, driving to work and everything. I was looking out for him. You ain't got to pay insurance. You ain't got to pay none of that for these next couple of months. How do you toe the line to teach your kids responsibility though, right? In terms of, hey, I'm gonna be firm, or I'm gonna give you the things you need, but I don't want to spoil you to the point where life gonna be hard if the boo boo hit the fan and you can't handle it.
Hmm.
Because I'm not always gonna be around.
Yeah. Now, how do you want to be remembered by the students, over the years when you finally
Same way.
you hang up your hat, like
Same way, good brother. I'm gonna tell a story. I just told this story to my staff the other day, man. I'm 7:30 in the morning up at Safeway up here on Rock. We was trying to get some stuff, some food for my APs. I'm buying them breakfast stuff and crepes and donuts. Man, I got to my car and this young lady hopped out of her car on me like, I want to say something to you. And the way she said it just set me back. Usually when kids be like, hey, they be like, Mr. Price or something. But she said, I want to say something to you. And I said, what's going on, young lady? She said, you was the worst teacher I ever had. You was the worst, and you told me I wasn't gonna be ish, and you told me I wasn't gonna amount to nothing, and you was just the worst. And I was like, whoop, I was taken back, and I was just like, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intent, young lady. And then she continued going on saying this, I was going through the worst part of my life and foster care system, mom kicked me out, drug abuse, blah, blah, blah. Damn, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. And I stopped and I said, let me tell you something. I'm the principal now. And as a teacher, I used to plan those lessons and do all this work for y'all every night. And when you didn't come in and do my work, I took it personal.
mm,
However, as principal, I see that y'all kids got a lot going on. And I try to message this to the teachers that y'all got a lot going on. Don't take it personal when they don't do their work.
hmm.
And she goes, well, I was trying to she goes, yeah, the kids were telling me a principal and saying you was cool and everything, but that wasn't what I had. And I said, young lady, I don't want to be remembered like Joe Clark.
Mm,
Joe Clark. That ain't me. And I can tell you about another interaction I had with a father, and the father looked like he was ready to tear my head off. I don't want to meet people in public where you want to tear my head off or cuss me. So how do I want to be remembered? Somebody who loved, who wanted to share these opportunities here with folks. Um, I just want to help. The system was broken when I was come through, and I'm not here to fix it, but I'm here to shepherd kids or people through and assist people through this broken system that is doing exactly what it's designed to do, which is disenfranchise people and only let a couple people in and a couple people through.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So, what important values do you want your children to remember? When I mean values, those are the internal things like the value
Mhm.
of hard work and so on and so forth. What you want them to remember?
You just heard it. Love,
Hmm.
um, patience, grace, understanding, um, respect. I mean, we're all one thing about tech that I love about Oakland Tech, and these kids will see is there's so many different cultures here at this school, right? That this is a unique opportunity to get to know other people from other cultures and it's all about mutual respect and building bridges. We all got our different paths that we walk in and journeys that we on. Um, but it's important that we understand that we're all interconnected and we all play a part, and everybody's role is important here, whether you be a custodian, a garbage man, a student, a teacher, principal, everybody's important here.
Got you. So, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
If I could give my younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? I'm going way back to when I was a kid. Know yourself, know God, love yourself, love God, love others, right? Love yourself, because the reality is I had when I was running around like a N-word, running around drinking and smoking, it's because I didn't have any knowledge of myself and God. And I thought that I was supposed to be what the media was telling me to be. So I was gonna be that to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be that. And again, I'm so glad that I was able to hear the word of God that told me, uh, don't collect that welfare check. That's that slave mentality. Because I was about, give me my welfare check and give me my unemployment. I ain't working for none of this year because I don't believe in none of it. That was a slave mentality that was about to have me stuck in that slave state of mind for hella long. So yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
yes, sir.
So, what do you want for your students?
Yeah, you can come in with us.
No,
I don't
she
have.
said that somebody called somebody the 42nd.
Okay, so but tell her to call her child in. Zakiya ain't going over there. Zakiya's mom, but actually Zakiya wasn't in classes last year.
Yeah, and I don't think Kevin was either.
Oh man, so if they fight again, they all getting 4 days, and we're gonna deal with it from there. Yeah, sorry, sir.
That's all good.
What was your question?
I said, what do you want for the youth, at Tech?
I want our young girls in particular to stay the frack off social media and focus on school and themselves. Unfortunately, social media has our kids looking at the outside, and they're not looking inward and thinking about themselves and what they're doing, even in terms of their own actions and whatnot, and how that's having a detrimental effect on their psyche, emotional health, and mental health. It's not only the girls, it's the boys too. But again, I want them to really learn to love themselves, like I just said, right? Not superficially, but understanding their connection to God or the universe. Um, yeah, I mean these kids, some of them have lost hope but they don't realize that the creator that's been with them since day one is still with them, right? And is going to oversee them through the choices they make. You just got to make better choices. And man, I don't know where you're from, but I grew up in East Oakland. And one day, I guess I went to Mexico. And when I came back from Mexico, I was like, it ain't that bad here. Like, perspective, man.
Yeah,
Perspective. Like, they was living in one-room shacks. I'm like, man, I got a house, running water. So
yeah,
just being thankful, even though we may not have everything that we want, but to that point, be thankful, pray on it, put it out there into the universe, work on it. It's gonna happen.
yeah. Okay. What about the males? What about the young men there?
I mean, same thing. Again, you gotta value this education. It's not necessarily about what's being put in to you. It's about you're learning about yourself and what you're willing to go through,
Mm,
right? Like I try to tell these kids, you're not gonna like all your teachers.
no.
Part of it is learning how to deal with certain folks that you're gonna deal with,
Yeah.
right? So just to embrace learning from in any respect.
Okay.
Every opportunity is an opportunity to learn. Like I gotta think about that fight that's happening, right? And man, what do we need to do better? What can we have done differently?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's about the boo boo about to hit the fan, man.
Yeah. What do you want for your children? You say your son is 21, your daughter. Pretty sure
I
he's
want
probably
my children to be good parents to their kids. I want them to be able to maintain and take care of themselves through whatever profession they choose. Huh? Yeah. Let me see. I'm checking my daughter asking me. I'm here till I got interviews online. I got one. I'm done. You gotta go. I'm here till 5. You gotta go if you ain't go. Okay, it's up to you. Do some homework. My daughter asking me. I just want them to take my example, be good to their partners, um, do something they love or enjoy or good at, take care of their families,
yeah,
and keep the generations coming.
got you.
Yeah.
It's the last question right here, and it ties into your day. So in a day like today, stressful, you're dealing with all this, that, and the other. What's your favorite go-to song to help you mellow out? Or a hobby?
Man, I got I got YouTube channels where I listen to old school hip hop from the 90s. Or like, I don't know if you peep, but and I don't know where this is going, but I went to the Million Man March, and the Million Man March is what really inspired me to become a teacher too, besides my dad.
Hmm.
Like I said, I was doing the union job, then I went to the Million Man March. And the message I got from Farrakhan and that was what you gonna do in your community that's gonna change the narrative about black men.
Yeah,
Right? And that's why I'm gonna be a teacher. I'm gonna change the narrative. I'm gonna be a principal. So at any rate, to that point, I listen to old school hip hop, things that are part of my growing up, or
yeah,
I'll listen to speeches by Farrakhan
yeah,
that get me juiced and or by Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad, that make me feel, give me another sense of purpose, or that are going to help me deal with the craziness around here.
yeah, yeah,
There's some craziness around
yeah, yeah.
here.
Thank you. Thank you. I remember that. I was a youngster, probably like 11, 12 years old. I think I was. I remember the Million Man March. We stayed up all night watching it. I remember that. Yeah, because I grew up in the East. I grew, 80,
Where
82nd and Max, 62nd, 65th.
okay, I grew up on 82nd and Nay from 13 on, and then I actually lived on Nay till I was about 25. But I remember I told you I was dabbling in other stuff.
Yeah,
I was teaching, and then the people they robbed my garage, then they robbed my backyard. First they robbed my backyard, then they robbed my garage, then they broke into my house, and I was like, I think they're gonna get me next. So I was like, I'm leaving.
that was a wise choice.
It ain't, but I live right there where on Nay where the little apartments is right there, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's good, man. You from Oakland then?
yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Where'd you go
dad,
to high school?
uh, my dad and my mom moved here when I was 9 months old. And then we had to move back to the city in like 95, 96. So I went to Fremont when we came back out here. But the first 2 years I went to McAteer over in
Okay,
the city, yeah.
okay. So you're a city guy.
Nah, nah.
You're
I'm
an Oakland dude.
I'm Oakland.
Praise God, it's good. I'll give it to you. It's good.
That was only temporary. That was only temporary. Majority was out here in the town. So
That's right. That's
so
right.
yeah.
So what you doing this podcast for? Just your own thing? How's that rocking?
The podcast is attached to my clothing line. Three
Mhm.
Miles Fashion House. And it's 6 brands underneath that. 'Cause I love to draw and I love to write. So I educated myself and once I understood branding and marketing, I was like, wait a minute, this ain't just one brand. And so it's Through the Fire is the brand that the podcast is attached to. So Through the Fire is all about, about the morals and values of parenthood. So I was like, you know what, I need to do a podcast and that could be the voice, that encompasses everything. Because I started Fremont Arts Fashion House. That was my big idea, to be my own boss and spend more time with my sons.
I want to connect you to my fashion academy so you can at least be an industry partner.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, or they can talk to you. Like our pathways are supposed to meet with industry partners to make sure that the things they're doing with kids are relevant to the industry.
Yeah,
So I would love to connect you with the fashion industry, whether or our fashion academy, whether you decide to become a part of the advisory board
yeah,
or just to, yeah, share your knowledge, brother, with the young brothers up there.
I
We
got
want
you.
that to happen, man.
Hey, whatever you want to do, I'm all for it. I appreciate that.
Okay, for sure, brother, because you're doing it. And again, the kids need to understand the all-encompassing nature of it, which is what you kind of got it. It's a lot more to just doing it.
Exactly, exactly. So you got my email. So if or if you need to take a number down, I could do it right
I
now.
know I'm gonna connect you via email to Toya Gross. Look for that email, okay, brother?
I appreciate you so much, man.
I
Have
love you, black man. Thank you for
a
trusting me.
and I'm gonna send you I'm gonna edit this up and I'll send it to you. I'll email you the video.
I'm looking forward to putting it on Oakland Tech website.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Come on, brother.
All right,
Thank
peace.
God. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
You're welcome.